The way it flies, man, just look at it. What's up, people? How's it going? Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. I know it's been a long time since I made one of these, and in the last video, on the last video that I made, it was practically unboxing of this bike. There were plans to make subsequent videos talking about user experience, ownership experience, maybe at the 1,000-kilometer service. Then as things went on, maybe a long-term review, etc. But unfortunately I couldn't come around to it. Lots of things have happened since, but somehow now seems to be a good enough time to revisit and see if some of those things can be done now. So from that point of view, this is like a test run, just to check things out and see how everything is, how's the audio, how's my comfort level, essentially, in handling vlogging duties while riding this bike. I mean, as far as the bike is concerned, the less said the better. It's just phenomenal. It just does everything that I thought it would do phenomenally well. It's a deceptively large bike. It's only 765 cc's, but it makes a stonking 130 bhp. I think 130 bhp is exaggeration, but yeah, there and thereabouts. So the sheer performance of the bike, I think many people have alluded to it in their reviews, professional reviews. But yeah, I can confirm this bike is second to none. But having said that, no bike is perfect. It has its own, pieces, its own deficiencies, but those are like, things if you're really nitpicking. For example, the dash is not great. This fuel cap, that's not great. So there are bits and bobs which are not really that good, but otherwise the bike is just insane. And these deficiencies probably they can easily improve upon, but let's see. This year I think they're launching 26 new bikes or 29 new models or whatever the figure is. It's quite high. They're telling it's the most Triumph has done ever. So hopefully they sort it out. Sort these things out. The small niggles, that would just make the bike phenomenal. I just hope they give a new dash, or at least make it faster. I think that's the biggest gripe that people have, even I have to some extent, is how slow the damn thing is. And the presentation of information is also scattered all around. I just wish it's more modern, where all the information that's required is available at a glance. So right now I'm looking at the tachometer. So if I want to go and look at my trip A, trip B, I have to scroll through the menu. So this is trip 1, then there is fuel status, and this is where the odo is listed. So if one wants to access all the information, you have to pedal through a lot of menus, which is what I don't like. In addition to that, though a lot of people say the switch gear is great, by and large it is, but this joystick is like shit. It gets stuck. I went to the service center, they poured shit ton of WD-40 into it, but still it's not solved it. So that's you know an area of improvement, but otherwise yeah, no complaints at all. Here we go. The way it flies, man, just look at it. Look at it scream. Fucking hell. Easy to get carried away on public roads. One has to be careful. It's a looker though. I mean, the looks are subjective. Some might like it, some don't, but I just love it. It's menacing. It looks as if, you know, it will slit your throat if you don't know what you're doing, and that's what I love about it. I mean, there are, you know, bikes which are far more conservative, you know, the traditional sport bike-ish bikes, but those are sedate by, you know, the standards of this bike. That's what I feel. It's just so damn easy to, you know, flick through traffic. I mean, flick the bike in general. I mean, maybe this Sunday, you know, if I go for a ride, I'll try to, you know, capture what it actually is capable of doing. But yeah, by and large, it's so easy. But at the same time, you must know what you are doing, because the bike is pretty docile up to 6000 RPM. So beyond 6000 RPM, the bike just barks and gets into life. That's what I love about it. I mean, it's got like, you know, bipolar characteristics. It's like very docile, very lazy, very agreeable, you know, up to 6000 RPM. You can just putter along without a bother in the world. For 6000 RPM, the bike just goes mental. So post 6000 RPM, the bike will, you know, try its level best to pull your face off. I mean, there is no other way to put it. So coming to other components on the bike, it's got, you know, class leading Brembo stylimas. So insane bit of kit. So it's like one finger actuation. Sorry, I don't have my gloves on me right now, since I'm just getting back to it. I forgot. God damn it. But yeah, coming back to the brakes, it's got these, you know, radially mounted 4-piston Brembo stylimas, which for, you know, most use cases is one finger actuation. And if you're doing spirited riding, 2 fingers, that's all you need. I mean, that's the standard anyway. But the initial bite, the progression, the responsiveness, the way, you know, Triumph has tuned it for this particular bike is just phenomenal. I mean, there are several bikes which have, you know, stylimas, but I don't think all bikes have equal applications. So the feedback, I don't think it is equal. So you need to know, you know, how do you apply a piece of hardware for a particular application, and Triumph seems to have, you know, nailed this bang on. The other thing that this bike has which makes it class leading is the suspension. I mean, it has fully adjustable, you know, big piston Showas up front and Öhlins in the rear. I did get it adjusted by a friend of mine, you know, to suit my weight and rebound and compression, to suit my driving style or what I intend to do with it. I mean, it was already phenomenal, but once the adjustments were done, it's like, you know, the bike has gone to a whole another level. So that's what, you know, makes this bike phenomenal rideability wise. But like any other bike, the heart of it is the engine. the inline triple that this bike has is madness. So as I was telling earlier, I mean, it's got one character up to 6000 RPM, and post 6000 RPM it just goes mental. I mean, that's what, you know, is the heart of this bike, and the way they have fueled it. So right now I'm commuting, I'm just puttering along, you know. So right now I'm doing 30, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. See, 30 kilometers an hour is just fueled insanely well. So yeah, I mean, the way the engine has been fueled and the character is just insane. I don't think, you know, there is any other bike in its price range or in its class that does, you know, what it does as well. I mean, there are several things you have to factor in, obviously, like, you know, the riding triangle, you know, the brakes, the suspension, the engine, the chassis, so many things. I mean, all of it, you know, make it such a killer package that I believe it has no equal. So when I was, you know, shopping around, trying to see what I wanna get, probably, you know, the Street Triple wasn't at the top of the heap. I mean, I was looking at some Ducatis and some BMWs, but I mean, the showrooms that handle or deal with these products, I found were like, I found them to be, I mean, I don't know, lackluster, I mean, in their response. I mean, in order to get a test ride, I mean, the Ducati guy in Hyderabad, I mean, that guy made me run pillar to post. I don't know what was the deal. And yeah, I mean, I took a test drive of the Monster. I was interested in the Monster SP. The guy was not, the sales guy was, you know, trying to peddle me the standard model. I wasn't having it. The BMW Motorrad, I don't know, shitty experience again. I had to go a few times, didn't get a test ride, but promptly the next day I would get a call from the call center of Motorrad asking how my experience was, and it was so damn ironic. So I lost my patience with them, and then, you know, I dropped down to the Triumph, you know, local dealership, and the experience was phenomenal. I mean, initially they gave me, you know, the usual, you know, test ride of, you know, a kilometer or less than a kilometer. I mean, 500 meters. They just asked me to go take a, you know, a short spin around the road in front of the showroom, and, you know, I did enjoy the ride. I mean, I enjoyed that short spin, but I went back to the guy and told him that, what the hell, this is not done. I mean, how am I supposed to make a, you know, purchase decision? And those guys were gracious enough, you know, to let me take it out and have a test ride of, you know, 30-40 minutes. I mean, I went around the city in peak traffic. There are, you know, some good roads which were empty at one point, so I had a chance to open the throttle, feel the bike, in all the, you know, use cases that I might experience. So yeah, that's what, you know, made me, you know, finally take the call. I mean, the bike itself was phenomenal. Since then, you know, I have ridden the Kawasaki ZX6R2. Yeah, it's a faster bike, more aggressive, etc, etc, but I still feel this is much better. So yeah, I mean, this is an all-rounder. I mean, you can, you know, putter along like, you know, how I'm puttering along, or so this sort of stuff you can't do on the 6R. I mean, it would break your back. So that's like more, you know, track oriented, or, you know, purpose built bike for a certain application. So this bike, it does it all fairly well. So those are my thoughts on the bike. I mean, I hope you guys get the essence. So I think it's a phenomenal bike. And if you guys have the money and if you're looking for one middleweight, you know, super bike, this is the one you should get. And on that note, I'll be winding today's video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out.